Breaking news coming out that a deal has been made on the stimulus reconciliation bill. The final holdout, Kyrsten Sinema, has said that she is on board. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. We have video footage and articles coming out. This is your breaking news, stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, first off, also wanted to let everybody know that I checked the website this morning and we have over 5,500 people now that have signed up at www.reliefroadmap.com, entered their emails to get access to the comprehensive list of all checks. I am working away on that, going to have it for you very soon. I know people want to know about state, city, and county checks that are not widely advertised. They want to know what's available. I'm going to make sure you don't miss out. Now, do me a favor. Today, I am going to do everything I can to shoot out an email blast so that way you know that you're on the list. Going to be working on that today. So keep an eye out for that. And let me know in the comments if you receive it, probably later on this evening. So keep an eye out for that. Now, also, you guys, like I said, we've got a deal on the reconciliation bill, and we've heard things are going to start ramping up here before these midterm elections. So do not be surprised to see this get passed through. Executive actions, executive orders come up, and more calls for stimulus checks, child tax credits, standalone bills and proposals. Keep an eye out, you guys, and take a look at what's coming out right now. Sinema says that she will move forward on economic bill, putting Biden's agenda on the cusp of Senate approval. This just coming out this morning, and here's another one from yesterday. Democrats Sinema reach a deal on Inflation Reduction Act after key changes to tax policies. The agreement led Sinema to offer her support for the measure after days of silence. And here's another one. Senator Kyrsten Sinema signs off on Democrats' big agenda bill, paving the way for Senate passage. And you guys, I'm going to give you all the details on the breaking news of her getting on board and the one requirement she has, well, what must be modified in the bill to get her support. And we're hearing they're going to be working on this through the weekend to get it passed and get it done. Now, also, you guys, you know they're going on August recess, but a lot of times that does not necessarily mean anything. It means they've got time off, but a lot of them work through it, and we still can hit them up during this recess and remind them, hey, don't forget about all those promises that you've made to the American people that are unfulfilled. If you fulfill some of them, it might help you in these upcoming midterm elections. Now, we will see. I will keep you guys up to date. Now, very quickly, before we dive into the video footage here, take a look at this. Senator Kyrsten Sinema signed off on a sweeping Democratic legislation Thursday that would provide new spending to mitigate climate change and extend healthcare access while taxing corporations. The Arizona Democrats' announcement likely unlocked the votes needed to pass the bill in the Senate. Sinema said that her support came after Democratic leaders agreed to remove a provision on closing the so-called carried interest tax loophole that enabled wealthy hedge funds and investment managers to pay lower taxes. And she said that she wanted that removed, wanted to make sure that they still had that ability to access those benefits in the tax codes. And we're going to hear that she's got a lot of contributors that wanted to see that removed. So that was one of the key things, and that is going to be removed from the bill. So we're going to dive into the video footage here in just a second. But first, also wanted to ask, if you appreciate the updates, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second, smash the like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton with the YouTube algorithm. Just takes a second. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, it's totally free on what's unfolding with stimulus, Congress, the economy. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Any specific questions for me where you can learn about growing wealth and personal finance, trying to provide any help that I can. I know there's a lot going on with our economy, and any little bit helps. So keep an eye out on that channel as well. But with that being said, you guys, let's dive into the video footage. So let's start off with the breaking news that she is on board, and then we're going to get into the details of what we can expect to see unfold with this bill.
All right, some breaking news I was just telling you about. The last holdout on the Senate Democrats' plan to pass a version of President Biden's agenda dealing with health care, climate, and taxes is now on board. Senator Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona announced tonight she will support the legislation. There is a condition: the removal of the carried interest tax provision from the bill. That provision would close the loophole that allows private equity and hedge fund managers to pay a reduced tax rate on their share of profits from investments. In a statement, Senator Sinema said, quote, "We have agreed to remove the carried interest tax provision subject to the parliamentarians' review. I'll move forward." This follows speculations about whether she would support the bill and what appeared to be a lobbying effort from Senator Joe Manchin. The Senate chamber camera captured them talking today. Meanwhile, the Senate already started moving ahead in case the bill gets the all clear from the Senate parliamentarian. Earlier today, Senate Leader Chuck Schumer announced the Senate will take tomorrow off, but will reconvene on Saturday and hold the first procedural vote to begin consideration of the bill. That motion to proceed only needs a simple majority. It cannot be filibustered and will jumpstart up to 20 hours of debate, equally divided between each party. Once the debate is over, they'll move on to a so-called vote-a-rama, a bunch of amendment votes that will conclude with a final vote to pass the package. And who knows when that would be, but maybe we'll be together for it. This is a big step in the right direction. Watch this space.
So there you have it, you guys. And you heard that Joe Manchin, he was a part of getting Kyrsten Sinema on board, talking with her, negotiating, got her on board, just removed that one provision. And now it sounds like this is going to have the support to make it through the Senate with that reconciliation process, which is a majority passage with 50 votes of the 100 seats. And the tiebreaker is going to be Vice President Kamala Harris pushing it through. And then in the House, Democrats hold the majority, should be able to pass it through, and they can get this to the president signed into law before the midterm election. So that is what is unfolding with that. That is breaking news that this has been approved in the Senate. Now, they're going to go through the process. This is by no means done, as we heard in that report. And take a listen at the modifications being made by Kyrsten Sinema.
Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema wants some changes to that major Democratic spending bill in exchange for her vote. And seeing as she could single-handedly block this bill, well, Democrats may not have much of a choice. Sinema wants to lose a provision that closes a tax loophole favored by hedge fund managers and private equity firms. If Democrats concede, the wealthiest Americans will continue to pay less in taxes. That change could trim about $14 billion from the spending package. Joining me now, NBC News senior national political reporter Sahil Kapoor and NBC News Capitol Hill reporter Ali Vitale. Sahil, let's start with you. What are you learning about Senator Sinema's motivations here? Why does she want to keep this loophole open?
It's hard to say, Joe. Sinema has never publicly explained her support for the carried interest tax break, and my attempts over the last year now to get her office to comment on it have not been successful. And so it's left the people close to her to try to make sense of this. A former Sinema aide I spoke to said she gets a lot of campaign contributions from business and financial elites, and no doubt that a lot of them are in her ear about this. This former aide also said she tends to be quite stubborn about her positions, that once she makes up her mind on something, she's not known for changing it, and that she doesn't really care about criticism from her Democratic base. In fact, she tends to enjoy them. Now, the irony of this, Joe, is that carried interest is not essential mathematically to making this bill work. If you think of this Democratic bill as a meal, this is essentially the dessert in the meal. You can remove it and you can still pass the rest of it. Revenue-wise, the essential component of this bill, what I would consider the steak in the meal, is this corporate minimum tax of 15%. That is something that Kyrsten Sinema publicly came out for last October. And so if she remains as stubborn in support of that as she is in opposition to other things, Democrats have a path to getting this bill done, regardless of what they end up doing with carried interest. And of course, here in Arizona, business lobbyists are going on the air with a major pressure campaign targeted at Sinema, trying to get her to oppose that corporate minimum tax. I put all this to her office, and her spokesperson said only that Sinema will make every decision based on only one criteria: what is good for Arizona. Joe.
There you have it, you guys. Sounds like a deal has been made. Looks like everything's full speed ahead. They're going to get this done over the weekend, we heard. Now, we will see. I will keep you up to date every step of the way. And also, we're going to be seeing what other provisions, what other legislation, what other executive actions are going to be following this. As we've heard, there is so much that hinges upon this. The passage of this bill, they said, whatever is not included, there's going to be a ton of things following. If they want to get done, promises made to the American people right before the midterm elections. And a lot of people are wondering, is there going to be fourth federal level stimulus checks? We've heard calls for gas stimulus checks, recession stimulus checks, inflation stimulus checks, many of which are going out across the nation right now on state, city, and county levels. I'm keeping you up to date on that as well. If you haven't already, go to www.reliefroadmap.com, and we will see you guys. I will keep you up to date every step of the way. But that is the latest, and as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. Leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. That's to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. And with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless.